Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video and a quick reminder about half of you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel. If you feel I've earned your subscription, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that button. We're getting closer to 30k and I'd appreciate it. Anyways, today I wanted to do one of these different style videos. We've been doing them a little bit lately and they've been a lot of fun. And we went over the most broken expansion of all time in Skullman's Academy. And I thought it'd be a lot of fun to take a look at what's the worst expansion of all time. And I actually had a good debate on this on my stream last night with Keith Numbers, and we went back and forth. But I sold my chat, I sold everybody on the fact that it's undisputed what the worst expansion of all time was. It's not even close, and it's Rostikin's Rumble. Rostikin's Rumble came out shortly after like the year of like we had Frozen Throne and Cobalt's Catacombs were ridiculously strong, and this was the year-end expansion in one of the worst of all time. And I wanted to go over what made it so bad, what made it so awful. And well, it's the cards obviously, but there were so many just terrible cards, terrible themes, and let's just highlight all of the awful cards and like look at what was actually playable. And then we'll take a quick look at the other expansion that a lot of people feel is the worst, the Grand Tournament, and you'll see that that expansion had a lot more standouts. So starting off with Druid, it's honestly probably the worst part to start off with. It's absolutely dreadful. A standout is Pounce. This card is one of the standouts. Getting to attack, a bad backstab. You have the awful spirit cards. Most of them were awful in this entire expansion. They were these stealth minions that just had this effect. They were just awful. We'll show a bunch of them. Yeah, like you were supposed to do stuff with your hero power in the set. It didn't work. Savage Striker. War Druid Lodi was awful until the quest came out for Druid, and then you got all of the choose one effects, which it doesn't show here. There's like 4 of them, but you know, technology not there. This card was awful. You could draw a whole beast and double its health. That was bad. Even with Treant Druid, this card was never good, turning your Treants into 5/5s. Stampeding Roar, pretty fringe. Gonk, super flavorful and memey. Really bad card, and this is bad on Battlegrounds as well as irrelevant on Ladder. Just awful cards in Druid. A Hunter probably got the best stuff. They got Springpaw, which was insanely good, as well as Master's Call, one of the best Hunter cards, period. Insanely good. 3-mana draw 3. Hunter's Hatchet, which is in the core set now, but again, the Spirit, really bad. Revenge of the Wild, these cards are just like, what are you doing with the Beast Within? This is an epic. Absolutely terrible card. Baited Arrow was pretty good, was actually pretty good. Halazi, not bad, especially in later on in Quest Hunter. And Zul'jin, very solid card. So Hunter actually one of the only classes that got good stuff. We got all this hero power stuff with Mage, which was okay with Baku since it was odd cost, but even then that was still not a super competitive deck. But yeah, Daring Fire Eater, Pyromaniac were okay, but the rest of the cards really bad. Like Spirit, even in like Even Mage in Wild, pretty bad. This was only really good in like some Cyclone Mages, but it was okay. Elemental Evocation and Scorch, I guess. And yeah, these like Arcanosaur or whatever it's called, like I can't even read. It's so bad. It was like Dustbreaker for 2 times the amount and more conditional. Just awful. Jonalite, really cool card, got Ragnaros, but overall Mage cards pretty mediocre, but okay-ish. Paladin cards were terrible. It was like built around Heal Paladin. Pretty much all these cards are bad. Timeout was part of the Shrivala Paladin, which did come into this expansion. That's literally it. But like the call in Wild, like Molten Giants, but the Spirit's awful. This thing, if you restored health, you got an 8/8 taunt. Immortal Prelate, cool memes, again, not great. Flash of Light was a decent cycle card. Like awful stuff. Faraki Battle Axe, new challenger, but yeah, it was like Shrivala Timeout. Again, like none of these cards, the ones that I'm showing that are like playable, they're like okay, right? Outside of Master's Call and Hunter and Zul'jin, they're just okay cards. And that's basically it. They're either okay or terrible. Priest, we got the same deal. Really awful set for Priest. Like they got Surrender to Madness, Sand Drudge, Spirit of the Dead, Akanai Phantasm. Like you got like some utility with Seance and like Nomi Priest or in Wild Reno Priest. Mass Hysteria, very good card. And yeah, Blumsamdi was okay in Combo Priest for a minute. This card's awful, and Grave Horde, again, like Miracle Priest and stuff like that. But overall, Priest only got like 1 really good card and a couple of fringe cards, and that's it. Rogue got Raiding Party, which was absolutely busted and is a really, really good card. And that's it. That's all. That's literally all Rogue got. Spirit of the Shark is like a fringe kind of combo-y meme card. It's like Mill Rogue, or you can go really value crazy with it, but it's never been a really good card. It's just okay. And that's about it. Like Walk the Plank, It's a bad assassinate now, I guess. Serrated Tooth didn't see anything. Grawl really bad, and Hooked us a bit of play, but again, nothing spectacular. Only Raiding Party was really, really solid. Shaman got nothing really. Shaman, these cards ended up seeing play, some of them, but like Wartbringer, look at this piece of crap. Like, what is this? Unbelievably bad. But like the standouts are like Lickum, Bog Slosher, and like Quest Shaman, like in Old Doom. And Spear of the Frog, really good card, but didn't become really good in standard to like Evolve Shaman and like Galakron Shaman happen. And Zentimo's a really good card that never really found a home. Again, very late in its life it saw play, and Kragwa not the best, and Toads just bad. So overall, like, there's some decent stuff for Shaman, but overall nothing great. Warlock cards, oh my god, these are bad. Shriek, Spirit of the Bat, like Reckless Dire Troll, Grim Alley was good, but Jeklik pretty bad, Soul Warden's bad, Sapper's bad, Demon Bolt's bad, Hyreek, one of the worst cards ever, an 8-mana 1/1. I guess it's good with Deck of Chaos now. Kind of, not really. And Void Contract, this is an epic. The Warlock cards, spectacularly terrible. And then, of course, the Warrior stuff, they went like this dragon theme that didn't really work out till a lot later in like a Highlander Dragon Warrior, like the next year when Descent of Dragons gave it more support. Like Devastate was okay. This is bad. Dragon War, all right. Overlord's Whip, pretty weak weapon. Lancer, I think the only really good card here is Shield Maiden, Ember Scale Drake, which has now been power crept by Shield Maiden. And I guess Sulthrice saw some play in some mid-range decks, but overall Warrior bad. And then we get to the neutrals. The neutrals are spectacularly awful. Like Gurabashi Offering, Gurabashi, this is an epic, by the way. This is an epic. What the hell? Imagine opening that. Oh my goodness. And I still have two of them. And Gurabashi Chicken, like, what are these cards? Like, what are you doing with Helpless Hatchling? Making a beast in your hand one less? Like, these neutrals are so even the eggs aren't great. Like, Fire Tree Witch Doctor saw a bit of play. Sharkfin Fan and like Wild saw a bit of play. Chinky Ankle Biter, okay. Like, these are like mediocre saw play cards. Banana Buffoon, sure. Like, you got Arena Treasure Chest, you got Arena Fanatic, those are great. Grifta, another phenomenal legendary, and I guess Tasty Fin in some Murloc decks, and Scorcher was okay, and Scalper was okay, and Former Champ was evolvable. Quest Shaman, Zihi, cool card. I love Zihi. I think it's actually a pretty rad card. It's a decent tech option, and I like that. Warbear, I guess, Linecracker and Armor Druid, and you have the Undertaker, really flavorful, but not a good card. And Hyreek, or Hakar, sorry, I love this card, really cool, not great, and Nadasta. That's Rostigan's Rumble. It was spectacularly awful. It barely impacted the meta outside of making Hunter good, and it did almost nothing. And just as a quick comparison, as the expansion that people like compare it to, we have the Grand Tournament, and there's a lot of like really good cards. Living Roots, really solid card. Darnassus saw a lot of play early on. Mulch was a decent removal. Savage Combat, not a bad card. Aviana ended up getting nerfed. It was a very good card. Hunter got Dreadscale, was decent. Bear Trap, good card. King's Elk was a good card. And Ram Wrangler saw some play. This is unbelievable bog garbage and absolute garbage. So yeah, don't get me wrong, TGG's not like good, but even like Arcane Blast, solid card. Polymorph Borer was pretty darn good. Flame Lance, compare this to Torrent, which I did on Twitter the other day, absolutely hysterical. Ronin, too slow but cool. Paladin had Competitive Spirit. Seal of Champions, Murloc Knight, all very good cards. Mysterious Challenger, one of the most impactful cards in Hearthstone history. It got power crept, but it was a very, very dominant card for quite some time. And the Adric even saw play, not the worst in the world. A Priest really didn't get much. It was quite confusing. Even like some of the Priest cards, like Wormrest Agent was a staple in Dragon Priest. Flash Heal was a good solid card. Holy Champion and Spawn of Shadows in Wild Reno Priest, but way later. The theme with TGT though is a lot of the cards became better later with Gen and Baku because of the Inspire mechanic kind of like working well with that. But again, Rogue got some decent stuff with like Buccaneer. Undercity Valiant was a pretty solid card. Shadowpan Rider wasn't too bad, but yeah, you got some real stinkers here like Poison Blade, horrendously awful. You got Totem Golem, very good card. Healing Wave was good. Tuskar was busted. This card used to read any totem, not basic. It could get a totem golem, could get a Manatide totem, an unnerved Flame Tongue totem. Very solid. It was super good. Totem Carver is a very good card, as was Thunder Bluff Valiant. So Shaman got some really good stuff. Didn't get really good till later with Tunnel Trog, but still. And again, even Warlock, like Tiny Knight of Evil, Fist of Draxus, staple and discard, but overall pretty awful stuff in Warlock. That's basically the highlights. You got some stinkers and Demon Fuse. Dreadsteed was super cool though, and I was super hopeful in Wilfred, but yeah, card's just awful. Warrior, Alekstar's a champion. Bash, again, not bad cards. Varian saw a bit of play, not the worst. And neutrals, you got Lowly Squire. Inter Cavaldier was like good with like the there was like a 3-mana card in Hunter that could cheat this out. That was not too bad. Flame Juggler, Bone Guard Lieutenant all saw play. Argent Horse Rider, Lance Carrier. Like the neutrals here are much more playable than Rosticons. Even Fencing Coach saw a little bit. Saboteur, still Silent Knight surprisingly saw ladder play for a little bit. And even like Refreshment Vendor, this was a staple in like Reno Lock. Tournament Medic, Twilight Guardian, Gormok saw plenty of play. Muklas popped up here and there. Justicar was a meta-defining card for quite some time. Very solid. And that's basically it. There's a lot of duds, but you can see there's some meta-defining cards. There were some really good cards and a lot of garbage and mediocre cards. But you look at Rostigan's Rumble, it is just an assortment of absolute garbage and a few like good cards and like 1 or 2 meta defining cards like Master's Call and with Shirvala, and that's basically it. So yeah, for me it's gotta be Rostigan's Rumble as the worst expansion of all time. But let me know in the comments below, what do you feel is the worst expansion of all time? Do you agree, disagree? Love to hear your guys' takes, and let me know if you guys like this format. It's a lot of fun to make it like this. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.